Way back in 2012, February 27th to be exact, at Mobile World Congress, Nokia announced their 808 Pureview camera phone, which ran a form of Symbian, which is their old OS. And it is to this date known as the final flagship Symbian smartphone. And I guess they ended it with a bang because it ended up winning countless awards, a few being Best New Mobile Handset, Device, or Tablet at Mobile World Congress 2012 that year. And then it also won a Best Imaging Innovation for 2012 at the Technical Image Press Association. And it also won a Gold Award by the Digital Photography Review. Basically, this camera phone, the Nokia 808 Pureview, ended out its operating system with a bang. It pretty much took storm when it came out because nobody thought they could fit a 41 megapixel camera in a smartphone's or feature phone. I don't know what you'll call it, but I'll just call it a smartphone. A smartphone's body and style, and still keep it relatively slim enough to fit in your pocket. Obviously, it was very thick. But fast forward a full year, and Nokia finally announces the Nokia Lumia 1020, which will be coming to AT&T for $299 on contract. Some of the specs for this phone are that it has a 4.5-inch 1280 by 768 display, which they call Pure Motion HD Plus. It has a PPI of 334 PPI, which stands for pixels per inch. It has a Corning Gorilla Glass 3, display type, type of glass. That way, it's very durable. You can prevent scratches a lot. Also, it has 32 gigabytes of internal memory, no external memory like a micro SD slot, which I wished that they would put in, because if you're going to take photos with this high quality camera, you would think you'd have an expandable storage. That way you can just pop out and pop in different chips every once in a while when you get full. Also, it has 2 gigabytes of RAM, which makes this phone the very first Windows Phone 8 device, or basically Windows Phone in general, to ever have 2 gigabytes of RAM. Also, it has optical image stabilization, a 1080p HD video recording with its 41 megapixel camera. Also, that 1080p video recording records at 30 frames per second. The front camera is also 1.3 megapixel, taking pictures at 1280 by 960. But it can in fact record, sorry for contradicting myself, but it can in fact record 720p video capture at 30 frames per second also, just with the front alone. But the back is the star of the show. The star of the show being the 41 megapixel Pureview camera, which was basically released with the 808 Pureview camera, the Symbian phone from Nokia, which was the last flagship Symbian phone you'll ever see in your life. Now, the 41 megapixel camera sensor, which I talked about before, has an amazing resolution of taking photos, a resolution of total by which is 7712 by 5360, which equals on 4:3 shots, it will be 7136 by 5360, and 16:9 is where you get 7712 by 4352. It also gives you an average focal length of 25 millimeters at 16:9, 27 millimeters at 4:3, and basically everything in the sensor is pretty up to snuff for your camera usage. Basically, I would still not say this is a professional camera quality, professional quality camera. I would still say if you're a professional, still go with your DSLR or some other high-end camera. I would pretty much say this is what I would call this phone. I will call this phone a point-and-shoot smartphone that is very slim. That is pretty much what I'll call it, because that's essentially what it is. In fact, let me rephrase that. I will call it a point-and-shoot camera phone with a very high megapixel, which is 41. And mostly the 41 megapixels, not exactly on basic image quality. The 41 megapixels is pretty much that way. When you zoom in, you'll be able to zoom in so much that it still won't be pixelated in fact. So that'd be really good if you like to zoom in and see people's faces and see how people reacted on a camera shot showing them. You'll be able to zoom in all the way in and it'll still be very crisp. It won't be very blurry and stuff like basic cameras, basic point and shoots. That is what will differentiate it from point and shoots, is that the high megapixel count is essentially it. But aside from that, it is essentially a point and shoot camera in a smartphone body, and in fact, it is a smartphone with a point and shoot quality camera. That's all I'll pretty much call it. So yeah, essentially this is the Nokia Lumia 1020. It'll be coming to AT&T for $299 on contract. I think it's about $700 off contract. You can check up exactly on AT&T's website or at your local AT&T store. I didn't hear any word of it coming to any other carrier just yet, but I'm pretty sure it will be coming to other carriers. It has 2G, 3G, and 4G, and also has LTE. So LTE is about LTE will be about 100 by 50 megabytes to 50 megabytes per second, 100 megabyte upload and 50 megabytes per second down. So that's pretty good. That's a pretty fast speed. So you won't have to worry about having all of your speed and everything for downloading photos to computers and downloading photos to your SkyDrive account. You won't have to worry about it being very slow. But just do be very careful if you do get this phone. Be very careful that you don't use up all of your data, because each image, being 7712 by 5360, each image is going to be about 10 megabytes per image. So if you're exporting that to SkyDrive, you can imagine about 100 images in, and you already have quite a lot of your data already gone. And if you're like a regular photographer that takes a lot of photos at once and then exports them and then chooses which one you're actually going to use, you could possibly see yourself eating up all of your data in less than a month. So just be very careful about that. Aside from that, it's a very good, very good addition to the Windows Phone lineup. Very good phone to the Windows Phone 8 lineup, to be exact. Again, it's in the US right now that I know of. I know it is coming international also, or it is international also. So that is a lot of stuff. I'll post the exact bands that it runs on. That way you can compare it to your operator, your phone operator, to see whether your phone company. What am I saying operator for? Your phone company, to see whether it matches their bands and whether you'll be able to put in your SIM card if you were to find it unlocked. So that's pretty much it. This has been a first impressions and first look, taking a look at the specs and everything like that of the new Nokia Lumia 1020, which runs its Pureview 41 megapixel camera found in the year before the year camera of the Pureview 808. This has been Kweku from Next Gen Windows, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.